former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Professor Kingsley Moghalu, has blamed the nation's worsening economy on the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, describing her fiscal mismanagement of Nigeria as a calamity. And the woman is just sitting down there, do her face, that everything is fine. Moghalu, who contested to be Nigerian president in 2019 under the platform of the Young Progressives Congress Party and lost to President Muhammadu Buhari, regretted that the nation's apex bank, which is supposed to check the excesses of the Ministry of Finance and the political elites, has compromised under the leadership of Godwin Emefiele. The Anambra-born political economist, who took to his Twitter handle, accused the current leadership of the CBN as an appendage of the government rather than being independent. It sees itself as a quasi-fiscal agent, using its ability to print money for the government of the day, Moghalu said. He said the wheels have come off the Nigerian economy, which he described as a victim of a mismanaged fiscal space and a deeply compromised central bank that has sold its soul to politicians and private sector profiteers. Moghalu stated in the tweet, "It is not often I agree with Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, not because of anything, but because I fundamentally disagree with what I consider her fiscal management of Nigeria. But at least she recently gave an honest assessment of how broke assessed Nigeria is now. As for my dear beloved central bank and its governor, the less said, the better. For that, I believe it is the ultimate calamity. Why? Normally, the finance minister directly answers to the president, where a federal government is not a reform-oriented as in the President Obasanjo era. The minister can be subject to negative political pressure if he or she is not a strong, respected and accomplished personality like Iwela, of whom politicians were wary because she wasn't exactly into one chance bus travel masquerading as a fiscal management. Moreover, President Obasanjo protected her and her reforms. President Jonathan strongly backed her, even if parallel other activities that were kept beyond her remit in the petroleum sector, and went on. But where a central bank is truly independent, as we were in our time, it can serve as a check in the national interest on the worst excesses of profligate politicians that often dot Nigeria's landscape of high-level public appointments. In the current scenario, the leadership of the central of the bank evidently does not believe in the concept of central bank independence in its operations. Rather, the bank asks how high. Once the presidency says jump, it sees itself as a quasi-fiscal agent, using its ability to print money for the government of the day. This is what the recent seekers and parasites that benefit from this situation justify as unorthodox central banking, as in, of course, central banking in Zimbabwe and Venezuela. Well, what is the result today? Between a mismanaged fiscal space and a deeply compromised central bank that has sold its soul to politicians and private sector profiteers, the wheels have come off the Nigerian economy. If the CBN is busy printing money for the government through illegal ways and means, lending, and then pretends to be fighting inflation by belated raises of the monetary policy rates and what one commentator aptly termed as dubious cash reserve ratio policy on commercial banks, how can we fight inflation successfully? Please don't tell me that inflation is a global phenomenon, just as some will mischievously or ignorantly refer to the level or depth of GDP ratios of advanced productive economies. There's a difference between real global challenges and us fundamentally killing our own economy with our own hands in the service of corruption, vested interests, and incompetent political leaders. The combined fiscal, monetary, and forest calamity superintended by the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and Planning on the one hand, and the leadership of the CBN of the past 7 years on the other hand, is a tragedy for Nigeria that could have been avoided. The effects on the lives of the average Nigerians are truly sad to see. This is a cautionary tale for the next president of Nigeria. If we want to review or renew and revive Nigeria's economy, the right policies will be to the right thing. To do the right thing. Let institutions that are statutorily independent be so. Let competence govern critical aspects of our national life. After all, when the positive results come, eventually the political leader will take the credits too. This is why I have argued that the problem is not an absence of competence in economic management in Nigeria. The problem is an absence of competent political leadership. The CBN is the greatest repository of fine, competent and technocrats in the Nigerian public sector today. Other agencies of government have in the past relied heavily on the bank for the secondment of competent personnel. The same caliber of economists and technocrats are still there. The politics at the top has tied their hands. Nanugo. Well, a total change of government from the days of old will spare doom for Emefiele, as it's so sure that his tenure will be proved. Prisons they await them, many of them. Forget it. Forget it. If you are still going through all this rigmarole, rub my back, I rub your back, it goes nowhere. I think this confirms what this man was saying. How was this man saying? The governor of Edo State. They say he doesn't know what he's talking about. Obaseki. He said they were printing money. He said that point they print. They can't say, yeah, they go vest. They said they're not going to borrow their money again. They're not going to borrow their money again. Yeah, come and pay out the money you borrowed. If you think that we were printing money, they swept that under the carpet. The way only all these people be held accountable is when we change government, and that is one of the reasons they are fighting to hold on to power by all means. Atiku Tinubu and Kwakwanso should step down for Peter Obi. This is a big sacrifice you can make. Oh, forget it too. They don't have the interest of Nigeria at heart. That is what you get when you have an APC member as the CBN governor. That is fraud. But everybody seems to be looking the other way. No, if you talk, they say, we don't know what you're saying. This is what you get when the heirs has no idea of governance and economics. As a teenager, I was taught in high school that inflation is when too much money is chasing few goods. In real life, the economic team of our government are injecting more money into the economy to fight inflation. And I ask, why won't the economy crash? If you vote APC, it literally means you have endorsed another problem coming in Nigeria. So Nigeria, Keyamo has said it now. They are continuing. Well, Nigeria is on the path of Zimbabwe and Venezuela may end on Afghanistan. Governor Baseki said it last time, but many didn't believe him. And there is one economy illiterate called Keyamo thumping his chest that inflation in Nigeria is better than inflation in United States and Britain. Hey, we don't enter Karara. So guys, let's hear your opinion and have your take on this.